Woke up late, charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screaming LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to break out bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump, I won't forget. Buy high, die huddling. The gen brain dopamine's controlling. Ride the whale, get wrecked clean. This crypto dream's a guillotine. Fake guru with 1,000 subs showed me coins in shitty clubs. Promised moons, Lambos and jets. Now I'm left with JPEGs and debts. Scalped my soul in a 5-minute chart. Market dumped and it ripped my heart. But I'll reload, I'll play to win, even if I lose it all again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. Almost God, greed's the king. This crypto dream's a punk rock thing. In the glass, risk it all, no brakes, full gas. Liquidation, call me sweet. Whisper welcome to defeat. No stop loss, no regrets. Code and chaos, no safety nets. Satoshi's ghost in my DMs told me to ape again and again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. If I crash, at least I tried. In this wild west of blockchain rights. I'll be trading till the lights go out. Charts are noise, but I live for the sound. One candle spike, and I'm back in town. Crypto's a fight, and I'm 10 toes down. Diamond hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. But I'll reload, I play to win, even if I lose it all again. Woke up late, charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screaming LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to break out bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump, I won't forget. Buy high, die huddling. The gen brain dopamine's controlling. Ride the whale, get wrecked clean. This crypto dream's a guillotine. Fake guru with 1,000 subs showed me coins in shitty clubs. Promised moons, Lambos and jets. Now I'm left with JPEGs and debts. Scalped my soul in a 5-minute chart. Market dumped and it ripped my heart. But I'll reload, I'll play to win, even if I lose it all again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. Almost God, greed's the king. This crypto dream's a punk rock thing. Diamond hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. Liquidation, call me sweet. Whisper welcome to defeat. No stop loss, no regrets. Code and chaos, no safety nets. Satoshi's ghost in my DMs told me to ape again and again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, I'm in hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. But I'll reload, I play to win, even if I lose it all again. Woke up late, charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screen and LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to break out bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump, I won't forget. Buy high, die huddling. The gen brain dopamine's controlling. Ride the whale or get wrecked clean. This crypto dream's a guillotine.
What's up, guys? How's it going? Awesome week so far. We have the chat. We've got, let's get this over here. Coma, what's up, man? Usually the first message. King Crypto, how you doing, bro? Haven't seen you in a while. Free Breaker. We got the unnamed Ghost Hunter. We got Trip, Ramos, Josh, Island Man. I call you Island Boy. What's up? We got Adam with 1,000,000 M's. How you doing, guys? All right, let's get to it. So, Bitcoin has fallen back below the Valley area high for this 50-day range, right? But this is a common thing to have happen once in a while before a trend-based move, where we break out, grab some liquidity along the way, like any of the newly added liquidity here, knocking them out of the race before potentially getting the take of the unclaimed high here to bring us out of this valley area and finally coming towards our previous valley area way up here where this big giant supply leg is. Right, so we could be preparing for that trend-based move. The internal price action is going to help dictate that story, and right now this is how it's kind of telling it. If we go down to like the 15-minute time frame and let the price action load on your screen, we have broken this downtrending momentum right here. That's been keeping the price down ever since we basically lost this valley area. Up here, it's only a 2-day valley area, but we still got to watch it just in case it acts as a form of resistance along the way up. When we had the break of that downtrending momentum, we had a bullish change of character. At that point, I signaled that we could make our way from here to this location here. But right now, so far, this valley area high and 50-day EMA, and I do believe the yearly VWAP is here as well. Those forms of confluences are currently acting as resistance, but we can see fractalization. We see that there's a double bottom here, there's a double bottom forming here, and we have more of a larger one here, and we've already mitigated our supply risk when we swept up through here. So now we're kind of banking on, Bitcoin using this VWAP, our 15-minute orb right here as a form of support. And so far, so good, right? We tested these previous highs. We tested the VWAP. We got a little bit of front run to the orb. So internally, we're trying to take this unclaimed high here after we flipped bullish on the 15-minute time frame, so we can dissect things in the 3-minute to try to get us an earlier entry to this break. Because if we get this break with the 15-minute candle body close above this, then we're very likely headed towards our next form of resistance, which is that valley area low I was just talking to you about. And acceptance into that valley area would then extend our target to the valley area high. But my concern is about that is that there's a lot of confluence here at this the previous point of control. The point of control itself, we have order blocks and we have supply here. So when we come up here, we got to treat this like a threat. But we're very, very hopeful that, the acceptance into the valley area, even after that resistance likely bringing us down, that we use the valley area low as support to then consolidate for continuations back up eventually, right? So there's either the potential entry of getting in at this low, if you might not have already. I only did a brief post about it here under Trade Talk, that we could potentially try to front run the move to that unclaimed high. If you're late to the party, then you're waiting for the additional confirmation of a break of this high, and then instead of using like this as your stop loss and trying to do the front run, you can use the internal strong low as your stop loss guard and have the same target. Except in this case, we know that the unclaimed high is breached. You get that break of structure, the warning sign of a continuation. But yeah, we got that bullish structure here on the 15-minute. So you're basically just using 3-minute confluences to try to get a better entry. We're pretty close. So just got to take that unclaimed high on the 15-minute, and then we can use this as our stop loss to then start targeting around here or higher. Coma is expecting the second open range VWAP tap. That would be nice. But based on what we're seeing right now, it doesn't look too promising. We just generated a 15-minute order block from this doji and then engulfing candle. And the placement suggests that with the confluence now of almost having the 50-day EMA and the 50-day valley area high being around that area, we could use it as support and push us to take the unclaimed high. So I don't know if we'll get that second one there, man. There, Coma. But it would be kind of nice to have that kind of SFP confluence on the 15-minute, like the internal SFP sweep, but we need a 2-candle pullback in order for that to be possible. You could always get it on the 5-minute SFP potential, start a downtrend, sweep, aim for the high, watch the downtrending momentum. Lots of possibilities, but like based on what we just saw, I think that we're likely just going to take this unclaimed high. Okay. I am going to be changing my live schedule. Not the upcoming week, but the week after. I'll be doing lives every day instead of every other day. I believe we're going to be set for 10:30. Yeah, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. I'll give you guys a post inside the server of the new schedule. I'm also going to be adding more trade hunting calls as well with the community, so we'll be trading together a lot more often instead of just twice a week. We're thinking about doing it daily. I had to develop a couple things, get that stuff out of the way first. That's why I have it scheduled out for another day, not just starting right away. But once those things are done, there will be new automated SFP signals inside the server based on the strategy that we built together, the community and I built together. And yeah, just want to get some of that stuff worked out first, and then we'll be good to go. Hi, Kyle. What's up? M43B4. How you doing, man? Good morning, guys. Well, I got my chat's not updating over here on the right-hand side. Just refresh that. There we go. That's nice, bro. You bet. Oh, thanks, man. All right. So what you guys like to look at? We already got the plan for Bitcoin ready. We're already kind of looking for basically a take of this high, right? Stop loss guard below the VWAP and internal strong low. And then targeting up here at the 2-day point of control. Or the alternative, and it's very likely not going to happen, the secondary, like this internal sweep here, and like the 5-minute second tap, front run the unclaimed high. But I think the opportunity's gone. I think this was the opportunity here. Change top chat to live. Thanks, man. Live chat. All messages are visible. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I'm a YouTube noob, despite how many videos I've already posted. I really gotta dive into like all the little stuff. Okay, cool. All right, guys, I'm good to look at any asset you guys want to look at. I'm gonna take a peek first at Ethereum and Solana, and then from there we can go look at any assets you guys want to request. Well, once I'm done looking at Ethereum and Solana, I will do the giveaway, and then I'll do the request that you guys might have. So Solana, same kind of story as Bitcoin, right? We were preparing for a potential bounce here, looks like last time, but it didn't really get it. Yeah, no confirmation, no bullish change of character, nothing. We didn't get a bullish change of character until down here, when we bounced off of this demand zone. Right, we had a confluence of a very large order block there, but it hasn't been mitigated. So here we flip bullish. If you entered a trade and you maintain this as your strong low stop loss, you still would have not have been stopped out during this bit of a pullback. The confluence that Ethereum had on that pullback was supply, 50-day EMA, and structurally it was the SFP that warned you that we could be coming back down. We had a really aggressive reaction to it, and then it managed to come down a little bit further. And there it goes again, doing three SFPs before giving you the serious move. Seems to be the trend with Ethereum. We can delete this noise now on this chart and replace it with this supply concern / 15-minute order block alongside the 50-day value area high. So once we get up here, you got to be cautious. The floor of this order block is at $3,166, and the ceiling is at $3,180. And the ceiling comes with more confluence of resistance, testing this previous these previous lows, and that value area high. So I'd watch your head around here. Based on Bitcoin's placement, that looks to be around the 97-day value area low, or I would say more likely around 92,564. So as Bitcoin gets close to its 2-day value area low from this range, we're going to have to watch the placement confluence of Ethereum when it gets to around here. It's likely if Bitcoin ends up hitting that value area low as resistance, then Ethereum is likely going to follow up with that pairing liquidity influence and come down with it. But at that point, Ethereum would have a chance to retest this as support and continue to go back up from there. Similar to what we're seeing right now with Bitcoin, coming back down to retest like this neckline as support to get that higher high. We can do the same kind of thing. Hit our head here, retest these highs as support to get that higher high. So it might be a TP level, but not like full-blown exit plan unless you have an opposing like bearish change of character come against you that you're not comfortable with staying in. Okay, so that's Ethereum. Basically, looking bullish. I would like to see a break of a full body close above this wick level high, and then expect for it to get here. So this is not really something you'd want to jump in on a brand new trade. This is more so like understanding this is a moment of interest and we could end up coming back down here. But if we close above here, then we'll have that continuation and you can evolve your target. So hopefully you'd already be in a trade and you're not using this for a new entry because the R&R is not there. unless this manages to break past this area. And that's a big if. So the best entry so far would have either been off the change of character here, stop loss here, or the SFP here. You know, entering on with these candles, stop loss below the wicks, or the retest here. And then you're just being watchful of this. Okay, I guess the active, like, local unclaimed high here internally that we need to close above in order for us to get probably the momentum we need to drive past this level. So that's Ethereum. Nothing too crazy. And then let's look at Solana, which is kind of like SFP heaven. If anyone's an SFP trader in here. What's up, Noah? How you doing, man? Solana did well at holding off of that 32-day point of control. It looked a little bearish for sure. We had that like Batman posture, right? But we managed to, we grabbed liquidity here, and then we immediately had like a bullish internal change of character here. Well, I guess it's not internal. We took that low, eh? Yeah, so we got the bullish change of character here. And that was like the big warning sign that we were not going to go down. And then we came up. Let's see. Looks like it was a... Just update this really quick. Yeah, nothing too significant Fibonacci-wise. Got a bit of a front run to the golden pocket when we were testing these previous highs here. Got that frying pan structure that our trade coach David likes to see, and then broke right out. I'll zoom out on this thing. So we're trying to get above this unclaimed high right now, just like Bitcoin is. Let's zoom out though. Yeah, so zooming out, you can see that we're still, floating around this valley. Yeah, the point of control here for this more macro valley area. That valley area high is really strong though. So if Solana does manage to come up to 144, guys, you got to be very cautious at this level. It's super strong. So I think arguably one of the strongest areas that Solana has in its entire price action history. So if we get up there, we got to watch these wick level highs, the local one here for potential SFPs. So if we sweep around here, it could be a good front run to a bearish change of character that could bring us back down to that point of control. But this whole area here is the valley area. I was suggesting anyone who is thinking about investing like via spot to buy around 132. But we had that level slightly front ran, so I'm not sure if any one of you guys got in. But here we are, basically preparing for that continuation. So here would be a good spot to prepare for shorts if you're not in a trade. Just sitting on your hands waiting for the opposing structure at 144 for Solana. Bitcoin's struggling to get above that high. Let's see, let's mark that key level right now. Sweet, okay. What we can do is we can give pathing off of the trend line here. Watch our head here. Watch our head here. But ultimately, this is where we're likely to get a harsh rejection if we manage to break past this area. That yearly VWAP's being a bit of a butthead alongside that 50-day EMA. All right, so we went through Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. Let's go and do the giveaway, and then I'll take on any requests that you guys have on other assets to find some key levels you could watch alongside your trading strategy. So let's see here. I got it all set up. Got our code in there. Got the word giveaway set up here. All I gotta do is click start listening, and we're set. Come on, one sec here. It's not working. Let me just log out and log back in again. Andrew, 144 is sickening. Well, at least it's consistent though, right? Like if you're a trader that likes to do range trading, Solana's consistency with that level is really helpful for helping you get some setups. I like dependable levels like that, but if you're an investor, you're going to hate levels like that, right? If you have a lot of big bags and your average for some reasons above 144, then yeah, you're going to hate that level. But you're going to love it again if we get above it, because then it's going to act like insanely strong support, right? Let me just re-log into this system really quick. Okay. See. Almost done here. Come on, there we go. I still won't listen. It's not. I might need to update the listening system. It's not working here, guys. So YouTube might change their APIs. Well, what I can do is I can still do the giveaway to members. I just can't do a giveaway to anyone who's watching right now. So what's happening is I try to click to listen, and it's just not listening to the keyword that we have programmed. So I can do sync from Discord, because that's an internal system that we built. We don't really, yeah, it doesn't seem we have any problems with that. So I can do giveaways to anyone who's an active member. Unfortunately, I just can't do it to anyone who does a comment. So let's do a giveaway for a $6,000 account to Klein Funding. And I'll get this fixed for the next live, I promise. All right, let's check it out. So go to the draw page. Now pick a winner. Youth 0749. Standard member. Congratulations, man. I'll get that posted in the Discord. I'll get this saved here first. All right, congratulations, man. Yeah, just reach out to me. I'll do a post just to make sure, in case you're not watching. But yeah, you want a $6,000 account from Klein Funding. They're a prop funding account. So if anyone who is not aware of what prop funding is, it's basically you're paying for a test usually, but this giveaway allows you to basically avoid payment of that fee. And if you pass the test, then you get access to an account that you can trade with, and then you get paid based on your profits after every like 14 days. So if you're interested in Klein Funding, we've got the link down below. But yeah, and it's a good way to like fund yourself. So you take those profits, you put it into an exchange account like Blowfin, for example, and then you can use those funds to like help you scale. And so once you know you're profitable after back testing yourself and then putting yourself into like a live environment test with like paper funds, this is a good time to make that switch. Once you know you're profitable, right? I can give you like the access to it, and then you could hold on to that for a while. You don't need to rush into your giveaway funds, right? What do we have in the chat? So congrats guys. Sorry about the giveaway system there. Okay. Dark Master Knight. What's up, man? Okay, what to look at next, guys? It's up to you now. Is there any assets you guys want to take a peek at? Just crickets. Okay, I will pick the next asset then. What we'll do is we'll go on Crypto Bubbles. If you guys are aware of that platform, Crypto Bubbles is a good way to find overheated assets sometimes. So here, you have to go cryptobubbles.net. You'll see that there's these like large bubbles that basically like represent like what's getting the most attention right now, based on the day. You can do it based on the day, the hour, the week, the month, the year. And we can see that right now we have a couple things that stand out. We got Pole, which is basically Polygon or Matic, whatever you want to call it these days. They keep changing. So we can go to, that one had a 17.6% pump. So this is not something that you're thinking about foaming into for a long. This is something that you would be rushing to prepare for a reversal structure. When you look at this, that's your immediate thoughts. Like this thing is overheated, or maybe Knight is oversold, right? So if you look for those faster paced moves, then this is kind of a good way to like keep an eye on that kind of stuff. So we're gonna go and take a look at Polygon now. I'm not really a fan of this asset anymore because they keep rebranding. And let's see. Okay, we have this valley area here. That's 236 days old. And we're coming back up to approach it. So I guess the best move would have been, based on the daily structure, break of this key level here, stop loss here, watching this as supply risk, watching this as supply risk. Now we're watching its previous lows, kind of end of this liquidity flow here, right? So we can look at the liquidity heat maps just to verify, but I'd say it starts to get a little bit cold between, here and here. And we have our downtrending momentum that's more broad that we're testing as well. Our internal evolving momentum on this already broke right here. Just think of evolving momentum as the pace that the sellers have sped up. So we can get rid of this noise now. We had a order block here, but it's mitigated on the daily. All right, let's get. We do a fib pull from the high to the low. Box this area of interest between the 786 and the golden pocket supply POC confluence. And that would likely just bring us right back down to the valley area low after we get that rejection. I wouldn't expect a harsh rejection from that. Just one that would bring us from 23 cents to 19. We should label the age of the valley area on our horizontal rays. So 242 days. There we go. So yeah, around here, I'll be looking. Initially, we're at a barrier now, so I'll be looking for a reversal structure now. What I'd like to see is a change of character. We can go as low as, right now, the hourly key level for that change of character, where it starts to flip bearish, is way down here. I think that we'll likely get a high, like a pullback and a lot higher high before taking this low. And this in itself is going to act as a form of demand. Yeah. go down to mitigation. I'll mark this as an hourly key level for now, but it'll evolve. And if that level breaks, there could be a front run opportunity. We just don't have the structure yet to define that. But right now, this is what we'll be looking at. Just basically a drop down to this demand zone here. Yeah, so I'll give you guys an update on this one later once we get more structure. It's going to take a few hours to get what we need to find a strong key level for shorts. Yeah, man, this thing has been on a tear. So congrats to anyone who's holding this. I boycotted Matic, so I'm not holding this anymore. I got out around 71 cents. I had an average of 32 cents from doing inverse perpetual trading to decrease my average. Because they lost, you can't see it on this chart because they changed their ticker and reset all their charts, but it lost a macro important, yeah, it was uptrending support. Basically, it'd be a macro support level that was a legacy support level that would define basically it could go to zero, right? So I was like, screw that, I'm getting out. And I believe it was around this pump actually. Maybe the time I got out, it was around October, yeah, 2024. Got out and then I saved myself from this, I guess. 9 cents is not what I expected for it to go down to, though. That's depressing. It looks like we were monitoring it around here when it was fighting against the valley area low, and then it lost. And it started its downtrend and kind of expected to go down to reclaim this wick. It's just wild that it did. So I'll keep an eye out on this on like hourly, the 15-minute to hourly structure, looking for a reversal. A 15-minute structure, if you have like whether it be an SFP from this high or a bearish change of character, this is going to be an area of interest you're going to watch out for as a form of support. But if we do break this level, based on the hourly structure right now, it would bring us down to 13 cents again. INJ, Teo. All right, cool. Okay. SEI. Okay, let's go in order here. We got Teo request. Teo. Yeah, we do have a Teo chart. Just haven't looked at it in a while, since the 3rd of December. To all the dailies that we have. So Teo, kind of similar in the sense of what we saw with Matic or Polygon, you know, having a strong deviation away from this valley area, a little too far. We confirmed it as resistance right here and came down and used that supply that we created as a form of resistance, and then it drove the price down further. This was a demand zone of interest over here on the left, but we kind of breached through it before eventually finally coming back up. So what you'd want to do right now for Teo is monitor its behavior based on the data from this valley area. Sec here. From here to here. This is all pulled on the daily, so it'll look a lot more cleaner once we get this all set up. But this valley area is how old? It is 25 days old, so it's significant. I just need to be previous. It's active now. So 25 plus day, valley area low. Get our point of control. You can see right now we're struggling to get past that point of control. We're using it as resistance. Then we have our value area high, which is going to be helpful for us to know, prepare for shorts off the liquidity grabs up here. And it'll be helpful for us to know when we're likely going to be testing this value area low here for a longer term move back up. Okay, so we got this marked. We can delete this. This was helpful for us right here for when we came back down to this area. So we knew this was a key area of interest that we didn't want to lose, or else we could fall back down to this value area low. And that's when we actually fell down and deviated a little further. So we delete this now. It's overlapping data that we don't really need. We have this value area low that we need to mark. So mark it as a previous value area for now until we get acceptance back inside. And this value area is 212 days. And that's good enough for now. We can worry about the 390 level and the 437 level once we get acceptance into this value area. But now we can dissect things a little bit better. Now we got the daily data on here. We go down to the hourly. Right? We can see that we came up. Our acceptance came in a little aggressive during this moment here. Get that break structure going right into the value area. And at that point, you'd start to target the value area high while being mindful of the point of control. And here we failed against the point of control, came down, got a double bottom. This is clairvoyant strategy confluences, but the confirming candle was really aggressive. What you want to look for is like a break of downtrending momentum with the clairvoyant strategy. Right? And then a bullish change of character. We didn't have a proper pullback here until we took that low. And our chalk level is just it's way too aggressive. Another opportunity here. Got the change of character, VWAP confluence, targeting the value area high. Be mindful of the point of control. So Teo basically is getting acceptance into this previous macro value area. If we get above this value area high with a break of structure, then it could warn us that we could be going back up to this 212-day value area. But until then, we should be treating this as an area to prepare for shorts, right? If we look for wick levels on these highs on Teo, we can prepare for SFPs, liquidity grabs, and then if you're a chalk trader, you can wait for the bearish change of character. So wick level here, you can mark. Wick level here. Oh, my bad. Undo. And then lastly right here. I guess you can go even further. There we go. So these are all going to be key levels that you can watch out for SFP, like legacy SFP reactions. If you don't like SFP trading, then it's just about waiting for the bearish change of character. We get our pathing like this. We could look for momentum, for confluence. It's the current pace of the buyers. But that's Teo, man. I'd be more ready for shorts than I would be for longs. The long opportunities kind of came and went. There was one here. There was one here, but depending on which candle you're waiting for to close, that might have ran away from you. There's short opportunity here as well. If we SFP off this high or get a low time frame bearish change of character, we could come back down to this momentum or the value area low. But otherwise, this is the best spot for shorts for Teo. For So I'll get that chart saved just to make sure. Anyone who uses this chart. Another dead alt. Maybe. I don't know. Tail is doing pretty good. It's just, yeah. Let's go to Zcash. ZEC. ZEC had a really big spark when we had the narrative talking about privacy issues. And then now it's starting to reclaim all those gains that have occurred. So here we were hopeful for a bullish change of character. We had our key level marked here as well. Based on the time we last looked at it, it looks like this was a key level because we may have had a lower low already. But we needed to have this break. But we never got it to bring us at least to this value area low. So we can delete this, we can delete this, we can delete that. This has been mitigated. So we delete this as well. Now we can look at opposing confluences around this area. This was coincidental. We had our wick level here marked on this demand zone. Can delete that. All right. So we have supply here that we got to watch out for on Zcash. From here to here. We have a 30-minute and a 15-minute order block and the 50-day EMA inside this. So there's some decent confluences for shorts. If we come up here, we kind of already tapped into it once, but this is still strong. We only mitigate a little bit of the floor. Nothing crazy. These zones are stronger than just regular order blocks. They can be tested more than once. You think of this as a form of armor, right? I say it all the time. And think of this as how much the armor has been breached before it's completely useless, right? If it comes up to this ceiling here, then comes down, then we know the next time we return, it's likely going to be a heck of a lot weaker and allow us to get that final break. So far, this is still strong. So get this marked here. We can mark this level as an SFP level, has good confluence for shorts, especially if the SFP candle hits that 50-day EMA and the order block and then closes below this wick to confirm the confirming candle. That simultaneous reaction tends to get more trade participants to drive the price down lower. But until then, we have this level here. We do not want to have a I would be, let's see, lower, just looking at the time frames here, see what the best one to watch is. I guess the hourly would be the worst one to get. If we have an hourly candle close below this level, we'd likely get that drop right back down to here. So I'll mark that. This is an SF, it's a wick level, but for SFPs, but it's also an area where we could get that bearish change of character on the hourly internally. So SFP, it's up to 138, oh, 398, sorry. So scenario SFP, or if you get the close, we're likely coming down to here. And the SFP targeting would be based on the most recent pullback, so it's not going to be a crazy long, especially when you have a VWAP against you like this. So if we have that deviation of the VWAP sweep of this low, we'd be target right now based on the current structure. This is where you'd be targeting. It's this most recent pullback. But I would front run that a little bit because SFP technical targeting is the wick high of the most recent pullback, but we have a 15-minute order block here in our face and the VWAP. So I'd be considering that as the front run target for any SFPs that we might get down here. And if we have a pullback prior to this, that's going to be the new technical target for the SFP. And then based on what we're seeing here, it's very possible that we'll get that pullback. But I could see us hitting our head there and just evolving any SFP technical target. So we get, like so far we got initial bounce off this 15-minute order block to induce that pullback. But we do have some wick levels here that liquidity could be used to drive price back up one more time before coming down. But this is not a sweep trade that I would personally take. I like taking the extreme lows, extreme highs of the active range. And you can use valley area data as well to help assist you with this. Right? So because if we have structure like us breaking down below, retesting the valley area, and then getting that lower low, then that's a trend-based form of confluence telling you that we're going to be leaving that range and going down to a new one. In this case, coming down to local demand. You could be mindful of this order block as well. So 30-minute one is up to here. The 15-minute one's a little lower. All right, I hope that helps you out. That's Zcash. Bitcoin's still trying to coil up here. Yeah, check out the chat. Gotta run a call. See you, bro. Thanks for jumping on. Yeah, don't forget to slap that like button. Thanks, man. Okay, SEI. Let's take a peek at SEI. I think Injective was first, so we'll take a peek at Injective. Injective we haven't looked at since November. I'm curious to see what we had planned in November. So we were drawing this downtrending momentum at the time. Now we can see that we can update it for a deeper pull. We got that bullish break right here on the daily. So we had that pullback. We took that lower low, generating this as our strong high. And then we took that strong high, giving us a change of character. So we flipped bullish during the moment we closed above this high here on the daily structure. And we can see that very shortly afterwards, we broke the downtrending daily momentum. But now we're testing the 50-day EMA as a form of resistance. We had a decent pullback to retest against these previous highs. And now if we take that unclaimed high, it will confirm a strong double bottom move. But again, we have a valley area here that can help us understand like why we could struggle around here. We have these highs here where there's liquidity likely resting there for exit liquidity. It could drive the price to be range bound again. Last time we were in this valley area, we ranged for 21 days against this supply right here. Okay, and then we'll mark our valley area. Now we're fighting against the valley area low right now. So we can mark this right here. Point control. And our valley high. And what would we say that was at 23 days? All right, then we'll go into lower time frames to dissect things a little further. I think that Injective gave away too much liquidity during their promotions. Okay, evolving momentum break came down. Let's go into lower time frames. So we had a yes, during this moment when you have this rejection, you'd look to your local demand. So here was demand, which was mitigated the first time we came down to test it. So you couldn't trust this anymore, right? Once this occurred, you could still monitor it, of course, but you can't trust it would have the same amount of strength that it would have before. We used the point of control as support a little bit here, and then eventually the 50-day EMA helped drive the price down from this downtrending momentum, which eventually broke and was retest here for that break. And we're trying to get acceptance into this valley area. We're kind of struggling right now. So we'll see if we get the continuation structure, but yeah, we need that break, pull back, higher high above the point of control. And depending on how long it takes for us to get there, if it's over a day or so, the 50-day EMA will catch up a little bit. So you might have that confluence for that return back up to the valley area high, which might be a quick drop right back down after sweeping this high. And so we can mark that level as an area of interest for potential sweep trades or exit plans. We have this demand zone, same story as this here. We broke right through it, mitigated. So if we come down, we can't trust that it'll keep us afloat anymore. We do have this guy right here, and arguably this little dude right here too. But we'll mark this here as an area of interest. Is this going to induce a range? If we get that rejection, come back down. All right, cool. That's objective. So basically what we're asking for is another break of structure so we can get that continuation back up here. And this is where you prepare for shorts again. There's no current structure that I would give any advice on. We had this awkward regression trend here, right? And we've already taken the supply that sparked it during this pump up. And we got a little bit of supply here at this point of control, but it's small, so it might only give us one little initial reaction, but then after that, it'll be mitigated and we can go right through it. It's an awkward one right now. Bitcoin's still coiling up. Got this internal price action going on now. Kyle, what are your thoughts on the 2-day time frame? Tenkan reclaim. On which asset? No problem, man. Okay. Do you think AVAX is dying slowly? AVAX in the last cycle had maybe 4 or 5 competitors that you had to worry about. But now AVAX has a lot more to deal with in that so it's basically getting its butt kicked for market share absorption right now. Other competitive assets that are trying to do the same thing. And I don't think it's dead, but there's definitely an area where if broken, you'd think we're going to die. And that's this giant demand zone right here. This is historical level that kind of kept us up for 1,826 days, right? So the downside is finding out the answer of when it's going to die would require it to have like a 50% correction to where we currently are. So this is going to be an area of interest for anyone who's interested in buying AVAX. If we came down to reclaim this October 10th crash wick, converting our price action to no longer be internal. This is an area where, yeah, this is kind of like the last moment where if we don't get a bullish change of character here or some kind of sweep return back up, then it definitely dead. So I would call AVAX dead if we use $8.65 as a form of resistance, because all it's got left is its first liquidity demand zone here, and the floor of that is at $2.84. So that's where I would consider it kind of dead from there. But right now it's actually in an area where people should be looking to buy. Like, this is similar to Litecoin. Litecoin just bounced off of its legacy support that's like, I think it was like 1,600 days old, and had a really good reaction off it. So we're kind of hopeful that AVAX performs the same way. Like, we front ran it a little bit, right? This area of interest, but yeah, overall, yeah, awesome spot to prepare for longs. Like, $11 is like a psychological level, and it's also like the ceiling of that demand zone. Right now we got this little dude to keep us afloat. A bullish order block. And similar to what we saw with other assets, it's in a like 25-day valley area. And we're at that valley area high supply risk zone. This is our continuation key level. We don't need that now. Delete this. And we can start marking our valley area high. What you want to see when you get above a valley area high is that break of structure, higher high for a continuation. In this case, we failed to do that. So we got our valley area high. Point control. And this data is going to be helpful for us. If we get the short, then we know what to watch out for, right? And how old was this? From here, 26 days. Okay, that's logged. Now we can zoom in. So we start forming a bit of a rounded top when we get up here. We had an SFP right here. Was the best entry you could have gotten. Sweep of that high. Candle closed below the wick, confirming the SFP. Stop loss would have been above that wick. The initial target would have been brief. It would have just been right to here. But when we got there, we got the break of that key level instead, and telling us to hold your trade a little longer. You'd be targeting around here, right? This is a form of demand when you have that impulse move up, base of structure, impulse move up. So you can see, you want to assume that it's going to act as a form of support. So from here to here is our key level. Send it back, mitigated to here. So around this area, you can look for confluences for longs. So far, we're kind of holding it as support here. And we got that internal supply being tested right now in the lower time frame. So if we zoom in on this picture, it makes more sense. All right. Downtrending momentum break. Just like Bitcoin, just like Ethereum, just like everything else. And this is our supply that we're fighting against right here that induced this resistance. Well, now we broke that resistance and we're mitigating the supply. So when we get to the top supply, it's still a risk of causing us to return back down, but at least we have this level here potentially acting as a form of support, and we built a bit of a form of demand as well. So we'll look for the confluence of us breaching these highs where exit liquidity is likely resting, the test of these previous lows, and that 26-day valley area high again. potentially inducing a reversal back down to here. We have to watch this as a form of support, but overall targeting down here. If we don't get the opposing change of character here, and we instead get the break of structure, that tells you to hold your trade until you get the opposing change of character and start targeting this unclaimed high here. It's a good time to use fibs as well, from low to high, high to low, and see if there's any opposing confluences. We can see we got golden pocket here where this supply zone really starts to the 786. Just wrap around this supply here. Send it back. Okay, let's look at the chat. On Bitcoin. So I've been profitable. I've been a profitable trader since 2020, and I grew an account from like $26 to now 40 Bitcoin, and I have no idea what you just said, Alex. So I don't know what a C-SPAN trade to Kijin means. It does sound like Japanese. Like I learned a little bit of Japanese, and you got some Japanese words in there. So yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by that. But and we're looking at the two-day time frame. It's like an oddity time frame that I don't normally look at either. But I can tell you what I see based on the structure in the 2-day time frame. We got the 2-day posture here. Oh, this is AVAX. Let me just switch to Bitcoin first. So this is what we're logging right now, what we're preparing for. Let's go back to, save this chart, go back to Bitcoin, go to the 2-day chart, and see if I can identify some key levels on the 2-day chart for you that might help you with what you're talking about. The 2-day, we had an internal SFP, so right now it's in a technical target path of this low right here, but we have a lot blocking that. We have that volume shelf support at 89,750. We got a 2-day bullish order block in confluence with that point of control. So there's a lot of barriers preventing Bitcoin from hitting that internal SFP target. So I'm not taking it too seriously that we're going to come down to those levels, but depending on how we perform against that value high, it could give us an early warning sign that we could be coming down to try to breach that local support. But yeah, overall, the biggest key level for Bitcoin on the 2-day that we want to have broken for everyone to start, posting their open mouth thumbnails again is up here at 107,350. This is the ceiling of this big supply concern right here. It's a big ask for us to get there. We would flip bullish prior to this break on the 2-day if we got the lower low taken and then going after the unclaimed high during that moment. But nothing really other than that I could see in the 2-day that I would personally be reactive off of. Go back to the 15-minute time frame for Bitcoin. We're struggling here. We could take this low and have an internal flip. Come back down to test this VWAP. Coma might get his VWAP retest scenario once and for, yeah, he's not here right now. But if we get we could have an internal SFP reaction here. Sweep off the VWAP confluence, orb confluence, retest these highs again. But a second retest like this, we have to be super cautious. And it'll be a short-term target. to the most recent pullback, which is right now, is right here on the 5 minute if we get that SFP, but we could get one prior to the confirmation of the sweep. Okay. C-SPAN is super high probability. I got you. Signal chat layer. Sounds good, man. Appreciate that. There's always something to learn in this space. Oh, cloud. Okay, you're talking about the... Okay, I got you, man. Check the SUI chart. Okay, SUI. Looks like we were cautious about it coming down to as low as $1.71 last time we looked at it. After we lost this momentum, we broke this key level here. We were preparing for potential sweeps off of as well. But when we broke this, we retested. The momentum got the lower low, and we broke past this local support. But we got to this previous high, and we held it as support twice. Can we delete that? Let's see. A wild SFP right here. Internally. It swept this low. Came up. The technical target was here. We broke past it. Got a change of character. Its positioning is got a little bit of relative weakness against other assets. Right, we got to get past at this level here. So have it act as a form of support. Kind of got a bit of a regression liquidity zone here. Mitigate some of it. And due to this pullback, and we broke momentum. Awkward retest that likely liquidated a bunch of people, but that in itself presented an opportunity for an entry when we had that SFP. It's following along Ethereum's price action quite tightly. Yeah, internally we had that bearish flip right here. And we're coming down to the VWAP, similar to what we're seeing with Bitcoin as well. It's awkward. So there could be an opportunity here. This would be a better area to prepare for shorts, but if we get the break of structure support retest, we can start targeting this unclaimed high here. You pull a fib and get your order block confluences in line. Pull a fib from the high here to the extreme low. This is our golden pocket. It's right here. The golden pocket aligns with this order block here. So the ceiling of the order block is the golden pocket. So if you're going to make sure you notate that. Order. The 786 has got good confluence as well. 786 has got confluence with this 30-minute and 5-minute order block here. And we got three good levels to watch out for. You're doing your targeting for a potential long if this level breaks. You can front run this level break. Is there any bullish structure you might find near this local support at around 179, 180 level? We have bullish OR block here. Isn't too strong, but you want to make sure you have VWAP on your side when the break does occur if you're looking for longs around this area. You can also look for liquidity sweep grabs around here. We got really strong buy shadow wick reactions here that we could watch. We can mark this from here and here as well. But if these fail, then down here is a good spot to prepare. We got a previous value area low here. 50-day EMA is catching up. We got our demand. Some OR blocks. So lots of confluence here if these fail to give us an SFP reaction or bullish change of character reaction. Alrighty, so that's SUI. Pretty choppy price action. I'll keep it on the 15-minute time frame. And we get that bearish flip on Bitcoin. We get close to that VWAP test now. You can mark this level here as a key area of interest. The RSI is coming down around 40 level. The MFI is great confluence for SFPs. Seeing it below the 30 level in confluence with the VWAP slap or VWAP 2.2 deviation, you would have like a 61% win rate. On the 15-minute time frame. Virtual. Let's take a look at virtual. Kyle, let's say you wait for a change of character to confirm an entry. What would be your lowest time frame you'd use to get your chalk confirmation? So the lowest would be a 3-minute, but it's kind of situational based on the higher time frame structure. So if I say, let's say for example, let's look at the current price action for this example actually. So we have a bullish change of character on the 15-minute, right? So that would make my lower time frame structural bias bullish as well. So if I'm going to dissect the 15-minute time frame and make a decision to try to front run what the 15-minute is doing, like try to take this unclaimed high, I would like to see like a 3-minute bullish change of character, right? That's kind of the lowest I would go. I looked at 1-minute time frame structure, but I haven't taken an entry off of it. It's more so just to help tell the story about what's going on in the larger time frames. But yeah, 3-minute is like the lowest I would go for entry confirmation while being aware of the higher time frame boundaries. Like you want to be going alongside the trend of the higher time frame and being aware that the 3-minute, if you're entering off a 3-minute, you're not going to be going to be targeting way up here, right? You'll be targeting here in hopes that it breaks so you can then go to higher time frames and focus on the 15-minute targeting, right? Where could we go from here on the 15-minute after a bullish change of character kind of thing? So what we're kind of hoping for is front run entries right now using lower time frames. But a majority of my entries are based on 15-minute candles. I've had the highest amount of success using the 15-minute time frame. But yeah, the 3 minutes, great. If you have all your rules met for a 15-minute entry, let's say this one, for example, right? Break momentum, preferably from a deviation of value area or out of value area low, right? But you could then use the 3-minute time frame to dissect a potential entry. So it could be from fibs, right? From this low to this high, since we flipped bullish during this moment. So you can create a box zone, and they can use 3-minute time frame to dictate your entry. Same thing here, flip bullish. You could pull a fib from the impulse move to help you with confluences from the low to the high. So this is an impulse level. One sec here. This low to high. And then you can use like 3-minute structure alongside this area of confluence. We know we have the orb ceiling here. We have the VWAP here. So you're kind of hopeful for just a tap entry. Or even better, if you get that bullish change of character after the sweep. I hope that helps you answer your question there, but it's situational. So if I don't like the R&R on like a 15-minute confirmation, like this one was really aggressive, right? When we had that candle close way up here. And normally when you have those strong impulse moves up, it tends to be a bit of a trap. It's unsustainable. So we come back down to like refill the order books again and fill that fair value gap. And then you can use 3-minute time frame structure to like define your entries from there. Many box, thank you, bro. I'm looking for that golden pocket level plus the orb right now, but don't want to buy right away. Yeah, I like chalks more than SFPs because of that. You have that structure to kind of help dictate where you should put your stop loss, so you have a high probability area that your capital is guarded. But there are those SFPs and where you have a high amount of confluence. They're hard to not take, you know, because they're the front runs to the change of characters that you want to have. Okay. Where are we at for time? I can look at virtuals, guys, and then I gotta head out. Virtuals. We are talking about Bitcoin's positioning. This is January 6th, the last time I looked at it. Oh yeah, someone asked me to look at it recently. We had this demand zone here last time we were looking at it on the 6th. It was around here that we were looking at it. It looks like we lost the 200-day EMA alongside getting a bearish change of character. So then we fell down to that our key level. We broke down trading momentum and confluence that bullish change of character here. Came back for a good retest. But right now we've SFP'd this key level that we want to have broken for break structures to start coming after this unclaimed high again, where this valley area high is. So right now, virtuals is near the point of control of this valley area here. Fighting against that 200-day EMA. And this came from a previous price action structure here that helped dictate a lot of support that we dealt with for virtuals. But macro-wise, it's doing good. Like we bounced off a really strong key level at 66 cents. A really good bullish change of character right here during this moment. And then you have great confluence to start going after the next valley area, with this being a big concern. And we only really struggled there for a little bit near the 50-day EMA. So right now, we've mitigated this supply, which is great. It helped us. It drove price down the last time we were here. But now we've broken through it, so that armor is basically gone. So if we come up here and close above this unclaimed high, we're likely going to run up towards the next supply zone of interest. And I got a lot of mess to clean up on this chart. So here, you can go here. That's a big area of interest here, but we know that now. We just delete that. So we just finished basically beating this boss already. It's just a matter of walking through the door now. But this is our next one here. I can induce a pullback right back down to this previous value area high at 116. This 4-hour order blocks at 135.81. It goes to as high as 146.27. So you look for a bearish change of character here on like a lower time frame. Right now we're looking at the 4-hour. Here you can probably look at like the 15-minute to the hourly to dictate a a potential short if you have that bearish change character. Speaking of the 15-minute, yeah, we kind of already went through this, but you could do an overlap of your valley area from here to here. So you can use this local valley area data to help warn you of potential continuations out or acceptance within. So if you didn't take this SFP, this SFP's technical target right now is this low. So it's kind of on that journey down, but we have these little demand zone that we just built here that could prevent us from going down. We got a 30-minute order block here. And we have our, if we get an impulse fib from this low to this high, our 786, oh yeah, looks like we did an auto pull here. Our 786 and our golden pocket kind of wrap around this demand zone. And we can try to refine it. So 618 off the tip of that demand. And we can refine it to the point of control. And that 786. And zoom in. It's a little choppy in the lower time frames for this thing. So if you're comfortable with doing low time frame entries with this, I'll just be a little cautious. At least on the MEXC chart that I'm looking at, there's gaps, which is indication of poor liquidity. So just be aware that if you enter with a large amount of funds, you might get, you could enter here, for example, and then but your entry might appear around here based on the last sell price in the order books. So just be cautious about that. I'll look at your mark price versus like the last trade price to find out if there's any slippage once you come down to this area. But this is a great area of confluence to prepare for a potential bounce. But this would be the block that would prevent this SFP from hitting its target down here. So if you ever do an SFP trade, you always got to watch the barriers like this that could prevent the price action from hitting it. So you can generate like a TP1 zone depending on how we behave around that area. So you can at least take some off the table during that time. And at this point, you could move your stop loss after this low is taken with the body close. Like on the 5-minute, you can move your stop loss either here or above this point of control if you took it. But that is virtuals. I hope that helps you out. But yeah, looking strong so far. Strong demand zone down here. If this fails, mark this up right now. There we go. Mark this wick level as well. All right, cool. All right, guys, I gotta go. Thanks for jumping on and yeah, and watching, sharing, liking. It's been helping the algorithm quite a bit. Congratulations to the winner of the $6,000 account. I will be doing a post right after this live in the InvestiShare server just to remind everyone who the winner was. And I'll see you the next one. Again, we'll be changing the live schedule soon, not the upcoming week, but the week after. We'll be doing lives every single day at that point. And the timing of the lives are going to change to be a little bit sooner, so there's a higher probability of us actually getting a trade together during the live, so we can take it together. All right, cool, guys. You have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. I appreciate everyone who's liking, subscribing, sharing, and I'll see you soon. Reach out in the Discord if you need any help with anything, okay? All right, bye.